individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. This is Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket as well as theticketfm.com. Also streaming worldwide on our free app for your phone. Just search 93.7 The Ticket. Give it a download. You can take us wherever you go in the world. I'm Austin Norman hanging out with you for another hour here. We're going to our Allo VIP line. Allo is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We welcome in Tom Shatel, lead sports columnist of the Omaha World-Herald. Tom, are you home? Are you safe? Are you comfy, cozy, warm, fireplace, hot chocolate? What's your status?
Well, no hot chocolate, but I am home. I've been home all day. One of the benefits of being a sports writer, sometimes you can write it at home. So for my first downs, I was talking with John Cook last week, and I just sort of gave an update on what he's going to do. He's in Wyoming, and that's where he's planning to stay. But he will he's keeping a condo in downtown Lincoln, so he will be here a lot. He wants to go to football games, and there was some report out there that he was going to move to Wisconsin. I asked about that. He said, no, there's no way. So I don't know where that came from.
That's funny. I read your first downs and second guesses. I've on Omaha.com. Make sure people check that out as well. Sounds like John Cook's going to stay busy, which isn't surprising. What is kind of in the future for John Cook now that he's retired from his post as head coach of the volleyball team?
Well, he told me, I think it surprised him a little bit that in the last week he had he said 30 invitations to speak at different events and appear, and I think that kind of shocked him. And so, if anybody out there is thinking about inviting him to come to the event, he'd probably be happy to do it somewhere down the road, but he sounds kind of swamped right now. and he said he's still waiting to talk more with Nebraska AD Troy Dannon about what kind of role he might have, but he sounded very eager to go to a football game and spend the whole game. He said he typically he gets to go to one game a year and he has to leave at halftime. I didn't ask him why, but I'm sure it's probably recruiting and other things like that.
That would probably make some sense. I mean, John Cook, the run he had at Nebraska, lots of stuff he could do. When you look at what Nebraska's athletic department might need or might benefit from, where do you think John Cook would fit in the big picture of Nebraska athletics in retirement?
Yeah, he told me a long time ago, we were sitting and just talk about life and coaching and whatever he was interested in. And because I didn't really ask him about volleyball, and that's probably why he liked talking to me. But he told me one time that he said college coaches need somebody that they can talk to. And he said, he thought it'd be a good job, maybe for him to have one day would be to be like a coach's coach, somebody in charge of the coaches, somebody not like a therapist, but somebody that understood what they're going through and just talk to them about planning the program, organizing, so on and so forth. But also just kind of all the stuff that they go through day to day. Just call up, make an appointment with Coach Cook and he'll come talk to you. I kind of like that.
I do too. I totally see that fitting John Cook. I mean, a guy that ran one of the most successful programs in college athletics, not just in college volleyball. And Tom, I do think that there's a place for that at Nebraska, because I do think that's a lot of what Nebraska is about, right? Maximizing its coaches, getting the most out of them, and doing a lot of it in-house, keeping it in family, right? Think about all the alums that are now back coaching at Nebraska across the sports. I think a guy like John Cook, obviously with his experience in Lincoln and leading a program in the Nebraska athletic department, his focus on, one of the things he most was proud of was handing it over to a program alum, a player that he coached, in Danny Busboom Kelly. I think that approach from John Cook and or Troy Dannon, if that's what they decide, that would fit right in line with what it seemed that the Nebraska athletic department has valued over the years. Absolutely.
And the Wisconsin coach, Kelly Shatel, mentioned this and his tribute to Cook a couple of weeks ago that, when he was just starting out as a coach, he noticed that John Cook was taking his team over to China, and he wanted, so he just sent him an email saying, I'm thinking about doing that with my team or doing something along those lines, and I just want to know how you organize this and that. And he said Cook sent him like pages and pages of stuff on what they were doing, and just kind of how he organized his program and this and that. And so, yeah, if other volleyball coaches were trying to copy off him, imagine what a football or basketball coach could do. I mean, it's just a fresh look. I mean, sports are sports, and if you can coach, you can coach. I think Cook's a guy who can really coach any sport. So I think, the lessons that he would be able to offer, I think, would fit Matt Rule or Hoiberg or Ronda Ravel or Bolt or any of them. They all have their own ways to coach and their own ways to organize and delegate and recruit. But it certainly wouldn't hurt to, have him come in and give you a fresh look or something. So, yeah, I think that'd be great. I think he'd probably have to. I think it would be a deal where, he's going to be here for 2 weeks, and he's going to go back to Wyoming, and he's going to hang out on the porch.
He'll be back quarterly. Update me in 90 days.
He said he's living in a town. I thought he was in Jackson Hole. He's living in a town called Alta. It's on the Wyoming-Idaho border. It's only 400 people in it. He told me that they have a school and a library, and and he said if we need to go to the store, we go over to this town in Idaho. It's like, what God? That's unbelievable. So, only Cook, I love it.
Any chance Nebraska moves its spring match out to Alta in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I don't think he's fired up. He said they're going to Ord.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that was my baby. I came up with it, and he's going to come back for it. So, and he's really pumping up this roping classic, the John Cook. It's called the John Cook Roping Classic. It's somewhere like the Sandhills Global Center in it's in Lincoln somewhere, and April 13th. And he said it's going to be as big as the stadium match. And so if he says it, I believe it.
So the Sandhills Global Center, Tom, it's the old Lancaster Event Center, but they changed the name, so often. I mean, good on Sandhills, they buy it, but this is where my wife, who doesn't watch a lot of sports, has a bunch of issues. She doesn't like that we're renaming stuff all the time, right? Like, it's the Lancaster Event Center, it's the Quest Center. It's not the CHI Health, it's the Quest Center, for Pete's sake. Right. Where are you at with all these renamings of arenas and whatnot?
Money talks. I don't, don't hurt the classics. The classics are, Dodger Stadium, Yankee Stadium, the Boston Garden. There's so many that, for me, Kansas City will always be Royal Stadium. Mm. But if they want to go and name after Ewan Copeland, by God, go ahead and do it. But yeah, I don't really care. I just kind of go with it because I want to enjoy the games. I don't want to get caught up in things that don't matter that much. But I know names do matter to people, but I'm not going to let it bother me. For years we had Rosenblatt Stadium, and that's what you did. You didn't need to sell the rights to a stadium. You named that for somebody important, and it became a huge part of everybody's life. And they grew up with Rosenblatt. Where are you going? I'm going to Rosenblatt. Well, now it's CHI, and they came up with the name Charles Schwab Stadium, where they're calling it the Chuck. Well, that's kind of cool. So I don't mind it. I think it's okay to be upset about it, but I think we all kind of survive that thing and move on. Obviously, a Memorial Stadium, you never change anything like that. So I like to see Devaney Cook Center. I've said that, and again, they had to name something after Devaney back in the day, and then he led the way to getting that building built. So they named the basketball arena after the football coach. But I wish there was something to name after Devaney, but I don't think there is. I think we're not going to name the stadium after him. And there's already Tom Osborne Field. I don't know, but Devaney. The great thing about Devaney Cook is John Cook loves Devaney. He was at one time they moved their offices to the Coliseum, or they moved them in the Coliseum, and he ended up with Bob Devaney's old office, and there were still things on the wall from where Devaney was there. He was just loving it. He loved the whole thing. So I think two legends, two icons. They've already got Terry Petticourt. Either that or have a statue out front with the old Cowboy coach himself with his Nebraska shirt, but he has the Cowboy hat, and maybe he's holding a volleyball or a rope or something. I don't know. Just something fun like that. But Devaney Cook Center. Let's do it.
The other option is Nebraska does have a club rodeo team. Can we build them a building and stick Cook's name on it?
I was wondering, there's a movement now that the NCAA is talking about having flag football. And women's flag football that's something Nebraska fans would be interested in. What about women's wrestling? That's sort of a hot thing, and this weekend of the state tournament, that's something that's going to be a college sport. I don't know if Nebraska's in the mood to add sports right now. They're trying to figure out rev share and NIL and all that stuff, but you never know.
We'll see. I mean, we heard about that from a couple Husker wrestlers as well. They're on board with women's wrestling. It's a big thing over in Iowa. Tom, while we're on the subject of naming things, not long ago there was a name put not on a building, but on a room, the Greg Sharp radio booth at Memorial Stadium. Of course, Greg passes away Friday. We learn about it on Saturday. What sort of legacy is Greg Sharp leaving behind for Husker Nation?
Well, I've done a lot of thinking about that. It's I was pretty close to Greg, maybe not as close to as others, the Husker Network, but I've known him for a long time when he was at Kansas State, and it's been a rough few days. But I've really enjoyed thinking about my friend and everything he meant, and I just want to thank Troy Dannon again for doing that. That's just such a great touch, and a class move to do that. And certainly you want to do it when the person's still alive. So many things are named after people after they die, and just that he was able to see it, family was able to see it. It kind of struck me as I was watching that video that he probably knows he's not going to be around to be in there again, and so that would have to be hard. But just what a great moment for him, and I don't know what kind of legacy people in the press box have. We share the games with everybody. We tell stories. We chronicle what happens. The radio play-by-play man does it in real time, so people are hearing it, but they can certainly tape it and they listen to it again. And but it's so important. Guys, the play-by-play guys become part of the family. They're it's like, I remember Greg telling me when we did an interview last spring, and he was telling me about conversations with two of his mentors, Mitch Holtis and Kevin Harlan. Mitch Holtis was he's like a small town Kansas boy who grew up to be the K-State play-by-play man for years, and then he went on to the Chiefs. When he moved on to the Chiefs, at a young age out of college, he went to K-State. He just kind of worked his way into the radio booth. He knocked on doors and offered to do small tasks and small jobs, and he became Mitch Holtis' spotter. And that's kind of how I did it growing up. I mean, he and I had all these parallels. Growing up together in Kansas City, I didn't know him. In fact, I was 5 years older, but we grew up loving the Big Eight, going to the old Big Eight holiday basketball tournament. I remember the first time I went to that, 1971 or 2. We went to an afternoon game, and it was OU in Nebraska. I got all excited thinking, well, this is like the game of the century. I mean, these teams are unbelievable. And it was consolation. It was for like 5th or 7th place. I didn't know that. But I learned in a hurry that basketball, it was all about KU, K-State, and Missouri. And, but yeah, we grew up, wanting to be the guys in the press box. He wanted to be the radio guys, and I wanted to be usually the press was on the lower level. I don't know if that was symbolic of anything or not, but we were below the radio guys. And I wanted to be all the writers and all the columnists, the smart Alex and press row, and you did all the typing. And so we both got to do our dreams, dream families and dream jobs, and we both end up in Nebraska together, which is kind of ironic. But one of the things that Kevin Harlan and Mitch Holtis told him was to know your audience and know who you're talking to. And like Greg said, he always loved that it was there could be a guy in the hardware store in McCook, or the farmer in his cab doing the fields on Saturday afternoons. You couldn't watch the game because he has to work, but he's got that radio blaring in his cab while he's going through the corn. And he loved that. And he loved that in a lot of ways, there's some pressure to that. People, rely on you to not only tell them what's going on, but hopefully why. And, they want to have the picture of the game painted for them. And that's what the play-by-play guy does so well. And, Nebraska football's had some legends. Obviously Kent Pavelka was so good for so many years on football. It still is on basketball. Lyle Bremser, I can think of his name. Obviously, Lyle Bremser was the original legend. So, I think Greg is in line with those guys, a real pro who got to be a legend with two different states. I mean, that's hard to do. Where two fan bases, I consider you an icon. Two fan bases consider you family. And so when I think of his legacy, I just think people will remember, and hopefully sometimes they'll play a clip from a game and maybe you'll hear Greg's voice and you'll have a smile on your face. And I think people, the legacy of any person, I think, is, when they're gone, how did you make everybody feel? How did you make people feel? Mm-hmm. And in Greg's case, he made people feel really special and really good. He loved his job. He loved the game of football, and baseball as well. Mm-hmm. And that came out in the way he did games. So I can't think of a better legacy than that.
I would echo every word of that, Tom. Especially the family part, right? Two fan bases claim him, and I wouldn't. Greg was a mentor to me. I walked into HSN as an intern for the first time, and I didn't feel like a new guy. A big part of that was Greg welcoming me with open arms, helping mentor me, get me set on the right path, set me straight when I needed to, but never disrespectfully, never rudely. And I will always thank him and be appreciative of him for that. But you mentioned the baseball piece, right? I mean, the football call that's immortalized right outside the booth. I remember exactly where I was when I heard that call, the Hail Mary, the Wester catch. It was incredible. That's going to stick with me forever. But the other part of it was learning just how much of a baseball guy Greg was. I mean, a lot of people are going to associate him with football, right? Biggest sport, biggest money, and that's where you heard him the most. But I wasn't a college baseball guy, Tom. I wasn't disinterested in it. I mean, I played baseball growing up. The Royals are one of my favorite teams. I love me some baseball. I had just never gotten into college baseball for whatever reason. I started working at HSN. It was impossible to not get hooked on Husker baseball, become a fan of the program, in no small part because of the guy who was calling the games and how his passion shone through on the radio. And that's why, Tom, no surprise, Nebraska baseball taking down Vanderbilt on Saturday, day that we all learned the news. I tweeted it out. It was no surprise that Nebraska did that because as much as Greg loved Husker football, as much as you can tell, as much as he'll be remembered for that, I'm going to remember Greg for how he helped get me into college baseball, his passion, his love for that program.
Yeah, it's interesting that Greg, when you go to K-State in the 80s, and then before that you grew up in the 70s, you're in that part of the country, Kansas and Kansas City. It's all basketball. It's college basketball is king down there, and K-State had great teams and a great tradition, and Adrian Fieldhouse, Jack Hartman, and all that stuff. Rolando Blackman, and so Greg came up as a basketball guy, and he remember he did K-State basketball, and that was a big deal. And he came up to Nebraska. Well, they had a basketball guy, and he's one of the best in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, Greg wasn't going to get to do basketball in Nebraska, but they said, well, why don't you do baseball? And I don't think he's done a lot of college baseball, but because not many teams in the country have do radio on college baseball. Maybe more now than it did, but back 2008 or 9, whenever he started, there weren't a lot of baseball teams on the radio, college anyway. But so he took that assignment, and in his own way, he made Nebraska baseball was winning. Dave Van Horn, 1998, 99, 2000, and then they took off. Oklahoma City trips, the World Series 3 times. But Greg, in his own way, made Nebraska baseball kind of big time. I mean, he treated it like it was football or Big 8 basketball, and that was great. And he really, he really took care of the sport. He took care of the team. He made sure that they got everything that they needed, and then every Nebraska baseball fan, got his best stuff. And so I credit him for that. Certainly, Nebraska baseball has been important for a long time, but I just think Greg added that much more to it, and he really loved it. He loved being at the ballpark. He was in that booth up there, and he knew everything about the team. And yeah, I wasn't surprised that Nebraska baseball players. He's on road trips. He's hanging around the team. He's at the ballpark every day. He's in the dugout before games. So he got to know those guys, and so I guess he became part of the team, and in a lot of ways. And so I was surprised at their reaction and their gestures. And one thing I wanted to do is I never. Last year they put his name or his initials on the hat, mm-hmm. and the Husker hat, and I wanted to get one of those. I wanted to have any left. Maybe I can. Maybe I can sneak into the equipment storage room or something and see if they have any left. But that was that meant everything to him, and because he not a lot of guys who used to doing football and basketball at major college level are doing baseball, and he was already a big deal. I think he made it better.
He absolutely did. Greg Sharp, gone but not forgotten. And hey, Tom, if you ever get your hand on one of those hats, try to make it too. I asked about one as well and didn't get one. So whenever you're sneaking into the equipment room, hit me up. I'll be right there alongside you.
Awesome.
We'll take our first break of the show, more of the Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel in just a moment.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
At Lincoln Family Chiropractic, they believe everyone deserves to live a pain-free and active life. Whether it's neck pain, shoulder pain, or lower back pain, Lincoln Family Chiropractic specializes in customized care for every patient to promote faster healing, allowing you to get back to an optimal life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic's team specializes in treatments such as dry needling, cupping therapy, and traditional adjustments. Give Lincoln Family Chiropractic a call today, 402-484-5166. Visit them online at lincolnfamilychiro.com or in person, 1 block south of 70th and 8th Street in Lincoln.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK. Make flying easy.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planner Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planners and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planner Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. This is the Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel. I'm Austin Norman. Tom's with us on our VIP line. It's brought to you by Allo Fiber. That's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Shout out Allo for giving us a cable channel as well. If you're an Allo subscriber, just flip your TV to channel 961 to watch everything here that you are listening to, or if you're watching it on stream, hey, guess what? If you're an Allo subscriber, pop it up very easily, quick of just a few buttons on your television. Tom, I've spent most of the last 24 hours or so trying to figure out what was colder, last night or Nebraska men's basketball in the first 25 minutes of that game in Evanston. That, I would call it a JV game, but it wasn't even that from the Huskers for 25 minutes.
I don't know, but I'm worried about Fred Hoiberg. I mean, this team's going to, what are they going to do to their coach? I mean, walking around with a bandage on his hand because he made him so mad in the first half. I don't know. It's a team that, boy, right when you want to give up on them, they come back and grab you and pull you back. And how the hell did they do that? I mean, when they're down 20 or whatever it was on the road, and then they, and Northwestern's not great, but they're good enough to be up 20, and all of a sudden they just flip it, and it's hard to come back 20 down on the road. I don't care who you're playing, and man, I think it showed that they beat Illinois, and they go on the road and they get the 2 wins there. They did, and then they look like they in Oregon and Washington, like they got it back. Then they came back and played Ohio State, finished the job there. Maryland's good. Maryland's probably better than a lot of people think, and Bryce Williams was under the weather, and you're not going to win every game. It's too hard in this league. So, but the key is, are you going to bounce back? And when I saw that halftime score, I thought, not only didn't they didn't bounce back, but they didn't show up for this game. How can you got to show up? And I was starting to question the leadership on the team and whether these guys are going to be good enough to really finish the season off and go in the tournament. And then they go and do that. And I'm going back and forth between the Nebraska game and the Creighton St. John's game. They're both. There was some genius put them on at the same time. Obviously, the person who scheduled those games wasn't in Omaha, so trying to figure all that out and started watching Nebraska, and the way it is now. I mean, the way it's been the last 4 or 5 games. Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary are taking control of the season, and they've had different role players step up every game. Against Ohio State, it was Burke before he got hurt at his best game. And all of a sudden, Braxton Mio, where'd that come from? Well, he was all over the place at the end of that game, and he was playing great. So I like that about this team, that they've got 2 steady hands at the top, and they have different guys kind of every game, taking their turn. So, and they got, the resiliency is coming in handy. When they lost 6 in a row, they weren't very resilient. Okay, maybe they didn't play bad all the time, but they weren't good enough to beat USC or beat Rutgers at home. And if you're going to be a tournament team, you have to be able to do that. So Ohio State goes up 8 early in the second half, and they put a stop to it, and they find a way to take control of the game and win. And they did it again on Sunday. So I like that. I like the fact that they can take a punch, they don't fold, they come back, and they've learned, which they didn't do after the Iowa game and the big loss of Purdue, but they how to bounce back. So I think they've learned this season how to do that.
I think they have too.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think part of the resiliency too, Tom, comes to the fact that Nebraska knows who its alphas are, right? In Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary. And last year, I mean, you had Keisei Tominaga, you had Rink Mass. Those are the guys that you were playing through. But I don't know if Nebraska last year knew who it was going to go to at the game on the line. It was so matchup dependent. It was who's hot. Is it Keisei or is it Rink? Or does Bryce Williams have a good matchup? Even if last year's team, maybe had a couple more guys that could bail it out of a bad possession, create something out of nothing, especially like Tominaga and a little bit like Rink Mass could. I almost like this year's set up in a different way because you know that Nebraska has that go-to guy in Bryce Williams. They trust Juwan Gary with the ball in his hands, and everyone else just has to do their job. There's no standing around wondering, no confusion of who's it going to be. On the one hand, sure, maybe it makes you a little bit more predictable, but it also, I think, clarifies roles for guys down the lineup that puts them in better positions to succeed if their number does get called and Williams kicks it out to him or whatever comes next.
Yeah, and I think a couple of things about this season. That's true with some teams now, but when you go into the portal and you bring a bunch of new guys in, they may be older guys, but they haven't played together, and playing together in the summer gym doesn't count. You've got to be out there in games, and so I think a lot of the soft non-conference schedule was probably to let them do that and grow into being a team. They just had to work things out, and without last year. The ball was going to Casey, and it wasn't going to Bryce. He wasn't going to be. I mean, he's become a totally different player because he's had to. But the opportunities there for him to be. This is your team, so to speak. Go do your thing and go take over. Go drive to the basket. Go get those shots. He's really in the last month stepped up and embraced that role. And I think. Maybe talking with our Nebraska beat man Wilson Moore about this, but he made the comment to me that he thought Rick Mass was a really underrated player in the offense. Is the role he played that he made the offense flow, and with his passing and he found people and. They've had to learn to play without him, and they don't have a guy like him right now. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, but they've had to kind of find their way on offense. And but yeah, it's I think that was a really good. You don't think of a win at Northwestern as being a valuable thing to have, but it was another quad one win, and those things add up. It's I think they can win at Penn State Wednesday night. Another quad one that might be enough to say okay, you're in now solid. You don't have to be on the bubble anymore. So and that would be a nice way to come back and play Michigan Monday night. That'll be a fun atmosphere.
Regardless of how the season ends, Tom, it looks like Nebraska has righted the ship from where it was back in a more stable position. Still a game under 500 in Big Ten conference play, but after a 6-game losing streak to just be one back of that is pretty impressive. I feel like this year already, almost regardless of what happens in the final 5 games, was a step in the right direction for the program just because it kept the momentum going from last year. Do you see it that way? Do you disagree?
Oh, no, this has been a very big year because, look at this. 2 years ago, they finished 500. They didn't have a winning season, but the way they finished the year, it felt like it was a winning team, and they didn't have a losing record either. Mm-hmm. So, but this will be the 3rd year in a row they didn't have a losing record. so this will be if they. Assuming they go to the tournament, this will be the first back-to-back and going to the tournament since 93, 94. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's a long time. I was there for it, and I've been here a long time too. But that's it. A couple of years becomes a trend, and it becomes a pattern, and then it becomes, well, this is who we are. Mm-hmm. This is what kind of program we are. And so Fred, that's part of the whole thing. He doesn't just want to win a game in the tournament. He wants us to build a program that expects to win, expects to go to the tournament, and you build a culture and you fill it with players who understand that you're expected to make plays to win games. You're expected to show up all the time and take care of business. And that takes a while, and it takes continuity. And this is sort of the second phase of Hoiberg's tenure at Nebraska. And, I remember when Trev was on the radio show and people were asking him about Fred, and people wanted to make a change after 3 years or something, and Fred or Trev said we're going to bring him back the next year, and I was kind of half surprised a little bit at that because it was just Nebraska we get in the habit of just firing people, and the more you fire, the easier it is, and so it's harder to roll the dice, and the next year. That's when Fred changed the way that they played, the way they went about their business. The blue collar mentality, the defense, the grinders, the junkyard dogs, and it all started with Sam Griesel. I mean, he made so much happen 2 years ago, and it all came together. And I say it all started when they won at Creighton, and they went in there and just kind of ripped their hearts out. They just went in and won in a hard place to win, and the way they did it was very impressive. So I think it all started there. This year is another building block. Every time you go to a tournament, Nebraska doesn't have a history of going that often, so you start stacking these up every year. It's a big deal, and it becomes a habit.
That it does. 5 games left in the regular season Big Ten tournament. Then we will see what awaits the Huskers in the postseason. I'm Austin Norman. He's Tom Shatel. One more shorter segment. We'll wrap up the Husker football hour in a moment.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back for one final segment here on the Husker Football Hour. Turn the conversation mostly to hoops here. Our guest is Tom Shatel, joining us on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. Tom, you mentioned Sunday the flipping back and forth between the Nebraska Northwestern game and the Creighton St. John's game. We are very nearly in a world where we will have Nebraska, Creighton, and the Omaha Mavericks all in the same men's tournament. 2 out of the 3 on the women's side as well, with Creighton and Nebraska both squarely in the NCAA tournament picture at the very least. There's no way the NCAA would make Nebraska, Creighton, and Omaha overlap, right? They would be smart enough to figure that much out if it was 3 games in the tournament, right?
Well, no, that's not how it works. It's a formula, and the way the teams go in the bracket is the last thing the committee does at like Sunday morning at like 10 a.m. That's the hardest part is seeding everybody, the whole 66. They got to seed them, and then they got to figure out that there's a formula that they put teams in there, and they figure out, well, Nebraska's already played Oregon State, or I'm just whoever they've already played, they wouldn't play them again, and then they wouldn't get in the bracket with a bunch of Big Ten teams that they've already played. So they have to be careful. So yeah, I mean, you could looking at the Trey Palm's CBS bracket today, and he's got Nebraska in Raleigh as an 8 seed, or I'm sorry, it's a 9 seed, I think, playing Baylor, and then the winner would play #1 Duke. Meanwhile, #1 Duke would play a 16 seed. Well, that could be Omaha. I mean,
yeah.
So the only thing you couldn't have is you couldn't have Creighton playing in Omaha. You can't play on your home court. So I was going to ask you if we have time real quick. Have you seen the story on Yahoo Sports by Ross Dellinger? This is a very interesting story. The Big Ten and SEC are going to meet Wednesday in New Orleans, the ADs. And in his story, it said the Big Ten and SEC told the other conferences last spring that if they don't get their way with the playoff, they're going to break away and they're going to have their own playoff. And so they are. It looks like they're going to push for the playoff to expand to 14 or 16. I'm going to guess 16, and they want 4 automatic bids for each conference for the Big Ten and SEC. And there's a formula that came out where it was 4-4-2-2. So the Big 12 and ACC would get 2 each. And then there was like, well, you know, how much is 4-4-2-2? That's 12, right?
Yeah.
So then there would be 1-1-1-1. There would be 4 at-larges for Boise State and 3 others. So the SEC and Big Ten could have possibly 5 or 6 teams in, and wouldn't that be lovely? I mean, I don't like that because it takes away from the regular season. If Alabama plays Oklahoma and they lose to Oklahoma, an average Oklahoma team, and they still get in the playoff because the SEC has 4 spots, that's not right. And so that's just happening this week, and I just think that they're holding the sport hostage almost. They're saying, if you don't do what we say, we're going to take our ball and go play without you. So I don't know. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, I did. And I think that's something that we can definitely dive into next week, because I'm sure we'll get some details about about this meeting. So it's unfortunate to see that they're holding the sport hostage, and not just that sport, Tom, but of course there's more rumblings coming out about expanding the NCAA basketball tournament as well from 68 to 76. I mean, it's hostage left, hostage right now.
There aren't many perfect things in college sports right now, but the NCAA tournament is about as close to perfect as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that they would add 10 more spots, are there 10 more teams that deserve to be in the tournament? I can't find them. So again, we're taking away. I mean, these games in February are kind of fun because they're meaningful because you don't know if you're in or not. But for 76, I mean, I don't know. It's why 70? Why not just invite everybody in? I mean, it's nuts. So I don't know. It's I'm against it. I'm not sure it'll pass. But boy, the fact that they're talking about it and they're going to, that means somebody wants it, and maybe it's TV. But the other side of this playoff thing is, if they would do all this, apparently the SEC would go to 9 conference games. Yeah. And there's some people in the SEC that are mad about that. So, you know, they had an off year. They only got 3 teams in, and they're all pissed off, and they want to change the system. So that's the way college football has always been, I guess.
You know what? The more things change, the more things stay the same. So we'll keep watching. We will keep monitoring, and we'll talk about it all again next week right here, 6 o'clock on Monday's Husker Football and More Hour with Tom Shatel. Tom, continue to stay warm. Thanks as always for your hour. It's been a blast. We'll do it again next week, my friend.
Thanks, Austin. Love it.
That's Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald once again joining us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber. Aloe Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Thanks again to Aloe for their VIP line, as well as channel 961 on their cable package. If you're an Aloe customer and you have their cable, flip to channel 961. You can watch everything we do here on 93.7 The Ticket. Been a great day. I'm going to step out of the way. Ticket Weeknights continues with the Don't Pun Hour right after this.
Is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier dealership, stocking top brands such as Can-Am, Honda, Polaris, Kawasaki, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycles, Sea-Doo, Manitou pontoon boats, and Triton trailers. Come check out Nebraska's newest Indian motorcycle dealership and ring in the new year the right way on an Indian motorcycle. Save big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft to ring in the new year at their new 27th and I-80 location.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamond